Hi guys, Matt B's Movies back for another video, and Happy New Year to everyone. I'm recording this on New Year's Day, and yeah, I just thought just do a little video on my sort of thoughts for the channel going forward. What's going to be new for 2025 and how I see this channel sort of being for this new year. So we're going to get into that today on the channel. So welcome back. So yeah, so 2024 is now behind us and we're into 2025. And yeah, I just wanted to just come on here and just sort of tell you my thoughts about how I see this channel in the new year. I'm at a point now where I've kind of run out of space within the collection. I'm pretty much at capacity. And there's the possibility of plans of maybe getting a bookcase which may give me a little bit of extra room. I'm a bit unsure as to where it's going to go yet, but ultimately there's not a lot of room left within the house. I think this is an issue that many collectors have. Everyone's only got a fine amount of space, unless you're very, very lucky and you have a dedicated room, basement, loft, or whatever it is. Most of us generally have, you know, sort of a corner of a room, or you know, part of a wall or something where you can store your media. Now, I've been collecting physical media for probably the last 25 to 30 years, and my collecting has increased, I would say, in the last sort of 5 to 7 years, certainly since Blu-ray and now 4K has sort of come along. I still do have some VHS editions. I wasn't a big VHS collector back in the day. I did have some VHS, and I've still got some of those editions to this day, which, you know, I've sort of shown on the channel. And yeah, you know, they're really nice editions to keep. The same with DVD as well. I wasn't a big collector of DVD. I did buy some films, but it's mainly Blu-ray and 4K that's really kind of expanded my collection. And by no means do I have a big collection. I'm probably one of the smaller collectors probably in this community. I've probably only got about 500 to 600 titles. You may think I have more, but I don't actually have that much. I did go through a period of buying a lot of DVDs from charity shops, and that's kind of come to an end now because I can't continue to collect sort of at that rate. You know, I mean, I was getting some really good bargains at one point, which have shown on the channel in the last couple of years. And I did go through a period of picking up some sort of the collector's editions of DVDs, which I've sort of sourced on eBay for very reasonable prices that, you know, back in the day would have been sort of £20–25 when DVD was sort of, you know, the premium format. You know, I'm talking about sort of limited editions, digipacks, this kind of thing, which, you know, I'm happy with. I've got some very nice editions which, you know, I want to keep in the collection, but yeah, I am struggling to sort of know where to put things now. So, and also just the fact that I think physical media is ever increasing in price. I think we're seeing that certainly within the UK, and I know for you guys over in America, you're certainly seeing the price of things increase, certainly for steelbooks. You know, I watch a lot of different videos, and there's, you know, quite an increase in price, which I think is sort of having an effect on people, and they're starting to question, do I need to pick up all of this stuff? I do think we're very much in a golden age of physical media. I do think that 4K is probably going to be the last format that we shall see, unless they suddenly come out with something special for 8K. But personally, I can't see it. I think that 4K is the final physical format. I think as every year goes by, you know, more and more casual viewers are who would have bought the odd DVD now and again, or just, you know, DVD collectors, but now waking up to the fact that actually streaming is probably a bit more convenient. Okay, not necessarily that much cheaper, and I think with a lot more streaming services, people are starting to question that. Well, I can't subscribe to all of these services, so I'm just going to have to subscribe to one or two, which then brings back people to think, well, actually, why not go back to DVD? People may do that, but then they might be then in the position where they're running out of space, so it's kind of like a bit of a vicious circle. But again, that's for individuals to decide, you know, what they want and their circumstances and all the rest of it. I do have a couple of streaming sites that we do sort of subscribe to, one being Amazon Prime and the other one being Netflix, and occasionally I'll take out a 3-month subscription of Disney Plus. I don't feel the need to sort of have a yearly subscription for that, but you know, on occasion I'll take out a 3-month subscription, you know, and I plan to do that probably later this year when there's enough content on there to watch, you know, both film and TV series, you know, that I can enjoy for a 3-month period. So going forward, you know, for me, for watching a lot of the newer content, it's going to have to be streaming. But I'm also quite happy to wait, like we did back in the day. You know, several years may go by before you see a film. I'm in no rush. I have a lot of patience with this kind of thing. I'm very patient with sort of releases. You know, yeah, you will see occasionally the odd new release from me, but often I'll wait for discounts, price drops, you know, all this sort of thing. But, you know, I'm going to have to kind of really scale back my purchasing for 2025. There's just going to be the odd thing now and again. I've got a couple of things that may be coming in January. Maybe a couple of CEX pickups. I've got some vouchers, which, you know, maybe further into the springtime I might pick up when they're on sale. I have no pre-orders. You're going to see sort of less and less sort of new pickups from myself, just the odd thing now and again. But that doesn't mean the end of the channel. What I want to do with the channel is to show the editions that I do have, and maybe sort of talk a bit about the films themselves. You may have seen a James Bond review that I've done for The Man with the Golden Gun, that I've actually posted today on the 1st. I think this video will probably go up either on the 2nd or possibly at the weekend on the 4th. I'm not sure yet. Decide when to post it, but yeah, within that video, you know, I'm showing the edition, I'm talking about the film, my thoughts on it, popping a bit of trivia in there just for sort of a little bit of extra info that you may or may not know. But yeah, for me going forward on the channel, you're going to sort of see more of that type of content. just because of the pickups really are just going to be few and far between for me. I do have a goal as well, personal goal of trying to sort of save more money. You know, there's things that I want to sort of purchase further down the line, which are bigger expenses, not related to physical media, but you know, things sort of outside of the channel that yeah, I'm not really going to go into that. There's no need to, but yeah, and I think as with a lot of us as well, we're you know, the cost of living is consistently going up. Unfortunately, inflation is on the rise again. You know, pricing for things is clearly not going down. So I think we've all got to be careful with our money, and you know, everyone's individual. Some people are on a strict budget. Others, you know, have got, you know, sort of more funds to spend on this hobby. For me, you know, I've just sort of come to the point where I'm almost like I haven't got the space, so it's kind of like it's giving me that push to actually not pick stuff up because I simply don't have anywhere to put the stuff. So yeah, I feel like I'm at a point where I've got a really nice collection. I've got some wonderful gifts that have been given to me by, well, mainly AJ and Chris. I really do appreciate those from you. They certainly gave me some wonderful gifts over Christmas and birthdays and this sort of thing. But yeah, you know, I'm kind of at capacity within this room that I sit in. I've got some really nice additions around the room, some figures that have been given to me, a couple of bits that I've picked up as well, but I don't really have any more room to put anything anywhere else. Yeah, it's a real shame because, you know, with this hobby, there's always new things that you can pick up. There's always new sort of franchises that are being created or rebooted or all of this sort of things. So there's always going to be things that are going to be, you know, produced. And I'm sure, as we've seen in 2024, there's been a lot of special editions that have come from, you know, the major studios, but also the boutique labels like Arrow. They're producing some wonderful editions. The majority that I've not actually been able to pick up, I have picked up a few last year, but yeah, might be the odd one or two possibly this year that I may be interested in. I don't know, but it's seriously going to have to be scaled right the way back for me. Like I say, I'm looking at possibly getting some kind of bookshelf to go within the house somewhere. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but that's more for actually trying to consolidate, because I do have some editions spread out in a couple of rooms and I'd rather try and get them into one room if I can. So but yeah, that's all dependent on sort of a few factors. I'm not going to be rushing into getting a bookcase yet. You know, maybe a few months down the line I need to decide exactly where that will go. But I'm also considering maybe possibly getting rid of some doubles from the collection. I'm going to find that incredibly difficult to do, but again, I can't. I've got to get away from this sort of doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down of editions. You know, and I think we're all guilty of this as collectors. You know, well, I think some of us are. I think some like to have these premium editions, multiple editions. I think there are other collectors that are just happy with their Amarais, and I actually feel quite envious of people that are just happy to get one edition of a film. But they might have a much bigger collection than me. but I do need to step away from the sort of doubling up of things. I can't certainly continue with that, and like I say, I may be looking at getting rid of a few editions. I don't know. I'm not rushing into anything at the moment, but over the course of this year, I may be doing that. But anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. Like I say, that's just my thoughts on collecting in 2025. A kind of New Year's resolution, I suppose. Whether I stick to it is another matter, but I think I've got to, really, because like I say, the space is just at capacity now, and you know, if I want to collect new things, then I'm going to have to get rid of old, you know, other editions that are in the collection, because I just don't really have the space anymore. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. If you do like this sort of video, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help out the channel. If you're new here, thanks for watching the video, and why not consider subscribing? Hit the subscribe button down below. Come and join the channel. I've got a wealth of playlists, and like I say, it's going to be more sort of looking at editions and reviewing sort of films in my collection. I do the odd sort of new film review, so you might be seeing the odd one of those now and again, but like I say, the pickup side of things is going to be really sort of reduced down to probably a handful. But yeah, be interested to hear your comments down below. You know, what are your sort of plans for 2025 collecting? Are you scaling back? You know, have you got space issues? You know, or are you lucky and you've got like a really sort of big room that you can put all your editions in, and you're just going to be ramping up, you know, collecting? Yeah, be interested to hear anyone's thoughts on this sort of topic, and how they sort of want to go forward. Do you find collecting physical media is expensive? Are you thinking about trying to save more money to, you know, to sort of fund other things in your life? But yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts down there. Right, well, that's the end of the video, guys. Take care and see you next time. Bye now.